done is step back and I've got another off the page project. Now I made a mini kind of accordion album in a box. I did use a Project Life mini kit box. Just took the cards out that I hadn't used and they just go back in my stash. I'm just showing you the box before it is decorated. Now I do show another box. I used to subscribe to the Project Life kit from Studio Calico, and you'd get this big huge box, and it works similar to the Project Life one where the magnets are on the side there. So I decided to go with this one, and I did make myself kind of like a blueprint template kind of thing with some printer paper so I could get sizes and kind of know what direction I wanted to go. Yeah, so I did grab out my black gesso and I'm going to paint the box, cover up all the what would you call it, the pictures and the words and that on there. I do come in with some pattern paper and decorate it, so I was just going around the edges mainly. I did paint the inside here. I painted the whole thing because I wasn't sure what I was going to do, but I do end up putting some pattern paper there, sorry, to decorate the inside of the box. So I think I only did one coat of gesso. There was a few little bits that were stubborn and I had to go back and touch up. So because I painted that black, I thought I'd use some black cardstock as a base for my accordion mini album. So I am just making it there, and I'll pop the measurements up on the screen. I can't remember the top of my head, but I did leave quite a big gusset between the three. Just so I could embellish. And then when my sister goes to add, I should mention this is for my sister, that's why there was no photos put in into the mini album, because this is a gift from my sister, so she can pop in photos or memorabilia, whatever she wants. And with the gussets there, there's going to be no problem of it not fitting into the box. So I'm just working out measurements here, and I'm just going to stick that final flap to the other one, just there, and that is the base of the album. Looks like a little book. So I did cut out a lot of the I fussed around a lot with the pattern paper, and I did cut a lot of that out. This is going to be for the front cover. I knew I wanted to use this as on my front cover, and with all my pattern paper that I lay as a base on my cardstock, I did leave a really tiny border. Oh, it would have been probably just a few millimeters on each side, just so it so there was a mat around the picture, and then if I didn't, well, I know that I didn't cut it square, it would give me some kind of leeway. So, and I really like the look of the black kind of border around each of the pieces of the pattern paper. So I'm making a pocket here, and I cut my base on my pattern paper, and I'm just going to use this pink piece as my pocket, and I'm going to cut it on a slant just to give it something different. And here we go. I've stuck down all my pattern papers. I've chosen them all. Now up on the right hand side there, I have stuck down a piece of transparency, and I think I do slow the footage down to show you. All I did was cut the transparency the same size as my pattern paper and add a little flap to it and stuck it down before I stuck the pattern paper down. I'm making a waterfall for the middle part, and each pattern paper is half an inch shorter than the last one, and then I just used my scoring tool and gave it half an inch. I scored it at half an inch from the top, so when you're flipping it up, it flips up a little bit easier, and there will be a shaker pocket on the top of that. And I think this is where I show you the transparency. I wanted to put an overlay over this one, just something different, and I did do a vertical pocket, on that side there, and the back is covered with some pattern paper. So I'm going to make a tag now to go into my pocket. So I'm just going to measure it out, cut it, and I am going to mat it with some pattern paper. So my box is dried with the gesso, and I'm going to come in with the pattern paper, and I did choose this one. I thought it was the prettiest one, and it had all the colours throughout the pattern. So I am just going to cover my box with this pattern paper. I put one on the inside, one on the top, and I do the sides as well. Yeah, I did do the bottom as well, I think. And I do come in later with some Mod Podge, some matte Mod Podge, and just give it a coat to protect it. So I'm just putting a little side on there now. And I did leave a little border around it too, because I knew this box wasn't quite square. This is the shaker pocket. I cut down a page protector, just a 4x6, and I cut it half an inch shorter than what it's going to sit on, the pattern paper it's going to sit on, and half an inch score at the top, so when it is stuck down it's going to act like a flap and be able to be lifted up. I can't talk. Got my We Are Memory Keepers confetti punch, and I'm just going to make my own confetti with the pattern paper and put it into this clear pocket. And I did grab some sequins and that, and I believe they are from February last year. Oh, I come in with the rhinestones first, and what I do is I just stick 2 rhinestones back to back, and just to add a little bit of bling in there. I did use the bigger ones because I find that I don't use them as much in my projects on my project life, and so just add a little bit of bling in there, and then I come in with the sequins. I did have a few beads from my stash added in with that sequin mix, but most of it is from the February kits last year. So I'm just going to pop them in and then close up the pocket with some double-sided tape and stick it down. I did think about putting something over the top of where the adhesive is, but really you can see it, but it's not that bad, so I just left it. just closing it up now and then just sticking it down. And if you go into any discount shop, you're going to find a big range of boxes. So these little mini inner box type things, you could go to town. I love these types of projects. See, I was thinking of putting a bit of pattern paper to cover the tape there, but then I decided against it. I use this vellum piece on the transparency. This is the fun bit coming up. This is the bit I absolutely love, is decorating. Oh no, I go in and do the front cover first. I did fuss around a bit, but I kept coming back to the 3x4 card that was in the ephemera pack. I really love that one that's on there now. So it kind of blended in a little bit. So I did grab a bit of black cardstock and I'm going to mat it a really, really thin border. And I'm going to stick that on the front of the box. Now, because I've sized the mini to fit just inside the box, I had to keep it flat on the front cover, otherwise the box was not going to close. So, and I do apologize, this is a bit of a longer video from me, just because I was making the mini and decorating the box. So I'm hoping that you guys enjoy it. So just sticking that down, and of course I just never can get things centered, so it does come up a couple of times. And then I'm just going to decorate. So I'm just going to let some music play while I fuss through some things. And I did add a few little journaling cards and things into the pocket with this tag. I wanted lots of room for her to put photos and journaling. I'm going to stick this little vellum piece over here. I love how that's going to overlay whatever goes underneath. And yeah, I'm just going to decorate. I'm going to put a few tabs onto my waterfall, and I do use the a chipboard bird, a little journaling piece, just as something different for a tab to lift up that waterfall. So, and I added some more journaling cards into that side pocket there. I wanted to try and use this, but there was just too much pink. So I do come in with the gold acrylic word hello and put it on top. Oh, and this piece here, Good Times and Tan Lines. Oh, because this album is going, it's for her to document her holiday over on an island, and I really had to include this piece, so I'm just going to add it on top of the pocket there. So I'm just going to let some music play while I fuss about with a few embellishments and things. back over to the left hand side here, and because there was gold on the right and the middle, I felt there needed to be a tiny bit of gold over here, so I brought some gold ribbon in, and I think I used some natural twine for the other tag. And I just wanted to mention that I only used repositional adhesive or very minimal normal permanent adhesive on the bits I stuck down, just in case she wants to move things about or not use them, or yeah, just, and I think that helps when you're giving someone a gift like this. So I'm going to slow the footage down and show you what the mini looks like. So now I'm back to the box, and I've got my Mod Podge, and it's matte Mod Podge, and just going to give it all a coat. The black gesso that I used, I can't remember what brand it is. I've got it in a glass jar now because the lid years ago kind of closed up on me, and I could never get it back open. So a long time ago, I kind of poked a hole in the bottom of the jar and put it into a glass jar so I could open the lids up. And it kind of left like a rough texture, so the Mod Podge, putting a coat of Mod Podge over the whole box kind of smoothed that bit out as well as protect the pattern paper. I used some flowers from the kits and I coloured them up with some homemade paint mist that I made, and it was just using the Vicky Bouton pink acrylic paint and the Colour Blast yellow shimmer spray that we got a few kits back. And I just coloured the flowers up, and I just grabbed some of the ephemera, these two big leaves, and going to stick them down. And then I did pull some chipboard leaves off the chipboard sheet too, so they are going to go on as well. And some of that gold bead trim that we got, I had this vision of it kind of coming out from under the flowers and hanging over the edge, and so that's what I do. And then I felt like it needed another little bit of gold on the other side, so I do add a bit more, and that's pretty much it. Just going to stick it all down. I'm using my 450 glue. If you don't like using a hot glue gun, I highly recommend the 450 glue by Helmer. It is super strong. It's very stringy too, kind of like hot glue. But it's perfect for projects like this. So just going to stick it all down, and that's pretty much it. So I hope you guys enjoyed. I know it was a longer video. If you have any questions, please feel free to ask. The links for Kitaholics will be below, so don't forget to check them out, and don't forget to thumbs up and subscribe, and I'll catch you in the next one. Bye.